Good morning. Today is January 23rd, 2026. It is 7:09 a.m. Central Standard Time. I am that day trade guy, and today I'm going to start off as I usually do, and that is by screening stocks. And so before I go any further, I'm just going to get right into it. So here I'm going to go to Robinhood. I kind of have this uh, fairly kind of custom screener up. I just call it Daily Price Jumps 1. Here I'm looking for a strong percent day change, uh, not too crazy of a price, high relative volume. I want volume. I want somewhat low average, so volume to average volume. I want this to be significantly higher, and that's why I get high relative volume. And I want fairly low shares. I want to be able to have some see some movement, and so ones like this one, BRRAY. This one's been high pretty much every single day. It has no relative volume, has zero volume. I don't know what's up with the stock, so I ignore it. But this one, Move, 130%, 30%, 30x relative volume, 909,000 shares. I like it, so I want to add it to my list. Today I'm using Daily Jump 2. And then the next step I typically would do after going through all these is then I go over to just some news. I use CNBC right now, and I just see if there's any recent news on it. Here, Vano Incorporated. Um, this always says no recent news, but I never trust that. Looks like 16 hours ago, Corvex secures long-term NVIDIA H200 GPU deployment. Corvex. The heck is Corvex? I'm looking at Movana. Corvex. So I don't typically go this far, but let me see what Corvex is. Corvex founder Keith Meister, activism isn't a strategy, is acting like a business owner. Huh. I don't know what the heck that has to do with Movano. So there is news, but not sure. Here, files to sell 545,000 shares of common stock for holders. So there they listed more, but that was January 13th. So I've added it to here. Here is an example of what I'm kind of look at throughout the day. And here's my watch list. Move looks like, let me go back to a day and 5 minutes. Let me make sure I'm looking at a day. Um, and then just let's see what's happened. Uh, so nothing great right now. Looks like a lot of it's trying to go down. Looks like around maybe 4 a.m. Had a spike. End of day yesterday, 3:05. Looks like it spiked up, and then it went all the way from $7 up to 16. Wow, that's pretty crazy. That was end of day yesterday, the 22nd. So there's no news. There was some on the 13th. So let's see what happened on the 13th. That is this day. Nothing. Literally nothing. Ooh, oh, that's ugly. I don't like any of that. But okay. Well, I'll have it here. There was recent news. I'm not sure how it ties in, but typically if there's some recent news, I like to throw it on this multi-chart. And here I'll just go over, put move on the list, and boom. And I'm just going to go down my screener and kind of, well, let me refresh that so it looks at a single day. And I'm just going to go down my screener, pretty much add everything first, and then I will filter out what has news and what doesn't. So here, DRCT, 122%, 29X. I like it. This one was on my list yesterday. Yeah, it was still on that list. I'll leave it on that list for now. RVYL. I'm actually going to sort this by relative volume. It ends up being a bit easier to look at here. Work, good percentage change, good relative volume, decent amount of shares. Add it here. RVYL. Yes, I'll add that one. AIIO. I'm saying that right. There- So here it has a lot of shares, so I'm not really a big fan of it. I guess as I'm clicking through, I'll just add it for now, and then I'll probably end up removing it unless there's something obvious like, oh, I think it's gonna do something, but I don't think that would. Um, KUST, Cust. Um, this one looks great. Um, Rev B, a lot of decent changers right now. A lot of good movement. Yesterday was kind of a down day overall, um, across a lot of my things. I didn't have any good trades, so today might be a bit on the better. So this is, once I get to about 30 million, I tend to not want to put it on the list. Um, I'm going to here with the high percent change just to kind of have, yeah, it was on yesterday's list. BGL, I'm not gonna, or not BGL, ATLN, I'm just gonna skip over that one because I'm also too low of relative volume. Um, Now, with it being so early at 7:15, I've noticed that a lot of these can still spike up with more volume. So I'll check this periodically as the day goes on and still pre-market. Here I'm just going to check like normal percent day change. Ignore the first one. Life 360's on here. Funny. Um, yeah, I think right now I got a decent list. So here, I'll just go here. Move I already looked at. So AIIO would be my next one to look at. Sorry if I'm sniffing a little bit. I think there's a winter storm coming, so it's been getting a bit colder. Robo.ai Incorporated. Anything AI seems to just be crazy. 2 hours ago, enters gold reseller agreement with the Ghazi Group. Okay, I mean that's news. Uh, Let me just go here. AI. Let me just. Oh, I had to restore itself. So it wasn't the biggest changer. I guess it originally was at the top of the list. I'm guessing it just has very high. Yeah, it has really high relative volume. So here, let me just look at it. Looks like yesterday around 3. No, no, no. This is today. Today around 5. Um, Started to spike up. Looks like we might have a ceiling close to 45 cents. Let's see, yesterday. End of day, it went from 25 cents uh, to 26 cents. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Don't know. There's not crazy amount of volume, but I'll be looking at this 45 cents and then 26 cents. That's a big range. Okay. And there was recent news, so who knows? Something could pop off on that one. DRCT. Let's go here. Let's look this one up. RCT. Oh, before I forget, did I add? Yeah, I did. Okay. Um, so here, see if there's any news. January 12th, direct digital next reverse stock split. Okay, that was previous, and that was, I think, what I noticed about it the other day as well when I added it to my list because I added it yesterday and I never really uh, got a got it when I should have. So I'll have to keep an eye on this one because pre-market this one or early like market open was really good. It went from 186, got all the way up to 249. So here could have made some decent money. Here it was more slow. It looks like 1125. Yeah, this one it was just my bad. I just wasn't looking at it, but I don't even see a good strong signal. This fairly low volume. Um, so I'll keep my eye on this one. see if anything happened like yesterday. Uh, looks like a strong buy right there. So DRCT, um, just to throw it on here already. There wasn't recent news, but it seems to be making strong moves. I tend to want to keep things that have recent news on this, so I'm kind of breaking a rule. Not the greatest thing right now as far as what I'm screening. Move, I already had on here. KUST. Oh, whoops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. KUST. Okay, 81%. So, custom entertainment to divest video unit, refocus on live events. Entertainment enters MOU to divest video solutions segment for 6 million to 8.5 million. Enters to acquire custom. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that happened yesterday for this one. So let's see how that looks relative to the week. Looks like the only big stuff happened maybe the 20th. And then some gains here. Nothing crazy. We had big spike up here after hours on the 20th. Today, though, this is interesting. So KUST. I like this one. Definitely want to keep an eye on this one at market open. My computer is being slow today. Okay. Next one, RVYL. Honestly, with KUST, this one, I'm not doing uh, early trades, like pre-market trades right now, just because I'm still in the learning phase and pre-market, anytime I watch it, I don't know, I don't like having limit buys, limit sells. I like the liquidity of just being, hey, buy, sell. Um, I don't know. Well, this one I kind of missed. Would have had to get on here just at around 7 and then would have had a signal and then a little pullback, buy here. And if I bought on this bar at 704, would have gone from about 290, maybe upwards of, here's exit time, 290 to about 350, so 60 cents a share. I mean, that's pretty great to start the day. And I'm just not to the point yet to buy and sell pre-market. Um, so yeah, that's to come. RVYL. Let's see what's going on with RVYL. It's just the same rival. Okay. Um, January 20th, Form S4 advancing RTB digital merger, regains NASDAQ compliance files for Form S4. Don't know what that document is. Let me just do a quick Google. Form S4. Is a U.S. securities registration statement. Uh, like mergers. Okay. Mergers, consolidation, that's an exchange. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so I guess there is some merger, digital merger with RTB, I'm guessing is the other company. So that was on the 20th, though. Let's look back. Yeah, this happened the 23rd, though, with a big spike up. The 20th, nothing happened. So I'm not fully sure what's going on. Uh, right now, I'll just still kind of put it on. Raya is an interesting one. This one I'll zoom out a bit. So here, it spiked up today, even though it was on my watch list yesterday. Uh, it spiked up today, and I don't even think it was on the screener, to be honest. Raya, let's see it. Um, Let me see if it's still on yesterday's watch list. So Raya, I just saw it, up 14%. Um, and has decent relative volume right now. Yeah, and it's like all the movement on this stock happens at a different time, which is quite frustrating. I'm guessing maybe that's just something I'm not fully screening out as far as maybe that's a location thing. It's in China. Maybe that's why. A China company for surges due to severe storms. Okay, so storms are making this one surge up. But with when it's moving, it's just moving in hours where I'm not trading. Um, but rival, uh, let me put that one on here because that was going to be on my list. Rival, RBYO. Okay. But yeah, Raya is an interesting one. Go back to today's jump two list. BGL, and then let's look at BGL. Up 32%, blue gold. On the 14th, provide corporate update strategic outlook for 2026. Okay, that was on the 14th. So I don't know what you're doing. Yesterday, it had pretty steady growth. Has some strong jumps here. Looks like a pretty strong run from 1255 to about 150. So an hour of just going from 273 to 390. So great growth. I tend to, those long runs like that tend to be a bit slow for me. I would have probably sold a lot right here if I saw it. I tend to not be trading at this time. But if I was, I would have bought around probably this bar right here. So I could have bought at 280 or so, and then probably sold pretty much everything by about 115 at 329-ish. So, I mean, would have made like 40 cents a share. And that was between 3 o'clock and 3:15-ish. I mean, beyond that, I mean, here's another strong entry, but then stays fairly horizontal. Boom. Eh. Long trades like that, or that tends to be a bit longer of a trade than what I would go for. There wasn't any recent news, so I'm not going to add it to my list for the multi-chart, and nothing great there. Works. Works. Is this how it works? What works? Okay, let's go back to the past week. So pretty much all the movement happened recently, so works. Squirks Corp. Oh, well, that's not what I thought it was going to be. No recent news, so don't really know what's going on with this one, so I'm not going to add it to any list. I'll keep it here, but I'm not going to have high hopes for that one. About the last one, Rev B. I didn't look at Rev B. Yeah, these are sorting themselves right now based off of percentage changes of the past week. This one's had a lot of movement. Looks like there's a kind of a ceiling right here. It broke through the ceiling last night, so it's making new highs. Uh, so right now it looks like the ceiling's kind of like maybe right here. Might be able to make it lower at 129, max 122 or 132. So right now I'll make a ceiling right about here. If it breaks through this, about 129, I think this one could go up, but because here it went from 83 cents, peaked around $1.18. So Rev B. Rev B. What did Rev B do? Revelation Biosciences. They launched something new. Reaches agreement with FDA on Gemini approval pathway. Gemini approval pathway. That was on the 21st, though. 21st is this day. And it dropped. You get approval and then you drop your stock drops. Okay. But then you bounce back. You meet kind of previous highs with $1.19. And then after hours, you kind of break through that a little bit. And then come back down. Say still $1.19. And then overnight. Yeah. Looks like $1.29 split. I'd say that's the number. I'll put Rev B on my list. Not the most recent of news, but I don't know, recent enough. Seems like this gets a bit delayed, and it was making new highs uh, last night. So here, I was gonna do something. I'll probably just like right here, all the way to I don't know there. Let me actually move that up a little bit. $1.29. So that's my magic number. I would think this is a magic number. This seems to be a resistance where, hey, anytime it touches this, it goes back down. Um, so I would keep my eye on that. Uh, Let me just go back through. Let me go to the screener again, see if anything new pops up. Refresh this. Sort by relative volume right now. Honestly, you could probably sort by volume, just compare the two numbers. Uh, yeah, Raya's on here. Do I have Raya? Let me put it on this list. Yeah, even here it actually starts to put relative volume. So yeah, this screener seems to be a bit on the slow side. Um, Relative volume. So some of these are calculating. I just have to wait a bit longer. Some of these other ones. Not seeing enough. Not seeing enough. Yeah. No worries. Um, okay. So DRCT. Let's see if I can find a magic number. So here I'm just going to try to see past week or so. So right now it's been making new highs. Okay. It's even trying to give me a buy signal right now. But it looks like it's not breaking through here. So let me just draw a line. So here I'm just going to try something. Oh, I'm just going to try to mark lines of resistance, or lines that I think are resistance. I really don't know yet. But my understanding right now is that these are kind of key things where, hey, psychologically, this stock keeps kind of hitting this price and kind of not breaking through it. Looks like the magic number is 625. Um, and hey, if it does break through it, that means it could just be making even more new highs or it bounces off and starts going down. Um, I'm just going to try to start kind of having some general trend lines of where people think there's some sort of resistance, or at least where I think people think there's some sort of resistance. That's probably the better thing to say. So here, I'll just look at the past week. Looks like it peaked around 1618, but then we got all the way up to 2079. So 1618, 2079. So I'll make about 2079 my line. Oh, right about here actually. Oh, so I have it. Um, or 2045. I'll just kind of keep an eye on that number. Could also do the same thing with the lows. So it looks like the low tends to be about right around here. Um, Honestly, probably a good idea to keep track of lows and highs, um, just in general. And then I don't know, I'll keep track of kind of where the first bar out of open, how that one looks. But here I'll just kind of go down and do that. But other than that, I'll keep my eye on these, and I'll see how this goes. So if you found any of this helpful or useful, please like, subscribe, put a comment, let me know your thoughts. If you have any tips, I'd definitely appreciate it. And let's see how today goes. Thanks.